Lost my job. Okay, you're on.
Since we have a former judge in the room, all rise and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Since Eastern District Commissioner Elsher is the senior commissioner at the table, he appointed me to take.
Wow. Harry lost a bet, so he's Sam today.
Of course, he's still kind of ambivalent about the Cowboys on Sunday,
Oh
right?
yeah, happy about a tie. Who would have thought?
Okay, so, Dawn, do you have any minutes or reports received? in
I do
file?
not.
No. Liaison reports.
Wednesday they're going to have a farewell for Jay. I guess we're going to have to do a welcome for Jay, but the chamber's doing a farewell for him. So that Thursday will be communities in the morning, Extension Council in the afternoon, evening, Lions Club. Friday morning, Eastside Business Association. Saturday, there's a Taos Backyard Golf Tournament fundraiser for Special Olympics. And I think that was about it until next week.
Okay, when this meeting adjourns, I hope to get over to the Truman Building for the state auditor training meeting. Our own auditor is there as we speak. Wednesday, if things go bad, the feds shut down. I don't know, it may could affect some things within the county. I suspect Chief Hoy has got a plan B, and maybe there's no effect there anyway. Immediate with the feds shut down.
We haven't heard anything, so I don't know.
And where's health? I was talking about health too. She stepped out. Let's see, that's Wednesday. Thursday, Westside Business Association meeting. Friday, we're invited for sort of a mini construction tour of the Lincoln University Health and Sciences building, just sort of an update for, I think we have to wear hard hats for that one. And next Monday, St. Mary's Foundation golf event. That takes care of minutes, liaison reports, upcoming meetings, and events we've done. So we go now to presentation from staff, consultants, and invited guests. And first on the list is Jeff Schaefer-Cutter. Jeff, if you want to step forward to discuss the BOE's decision on assessment increases for residential properties. That's how it's phrased. This is a good place. Okay.
Thank you. And thank you for entertaining my request to be on your agenda today. My name is Jeff Schaefer-Cutter. I'm a taxpayer here in Cole County. My wife Jane is here with me. We live out on the east side of town. I wanted to first start with a little bit of a caveat. I'm not familiar with the terms of the MOU that the State Tax Commission sent to the county. I'm not familiar with the terms of the order that they entered back in July, ordering the county to take some steps. My only information really is what I read in one newspaper article. That was back in August, I think. And then looking at a couple of former videos of commission meetings that were held, I think, again, back in August. So my direct knowledge of this is limited. Of course, I got the letter from the Board of Equalization. But I should point out, I think, that I'm also appearing with a range of experiences that I don't think give me necessarily any, I hope they don't give me any, in and of themselves, any credibility. You can judge whether I have any credibility by what I say to you. But I was in the legislature when the reassessment statutes were passed back in the middle 80s, I'm sorry. I was a lawyer for 30 or 40 years. I was a circuit judge for 12 years. And in both those capacities, I had involvement with property tax assessment and issues regarding property taxes. Probably more relevant than any of that is the fact that in 2010, Governor Nixon appointed me to the State Tax Commission. And I actually served on the State Tax Commission for a fairly short period of time, 8 months about. So I had experience as a member of the State Tax Commission with these sorts of issues. Underassessment of property by county officials all over the state is historical and almost sometimes hysterical, if you know what I mean. I think the timing is important here, and my main complaint is about the process that got us to this point, and then the underlying but superior complaint to that is the discrimination that happened as a result of the State Tax Commission's order. So the timing is important, and I promised Jeff, Commissioner Helser, I'm sorry, that I was going to take less than 40 minutes. Anybody keeping track?
We haven't started it yet.
Okay, good.
You got Sam's time this morning.
Okay, good. And is there a video of this being made?
Yes.
Well, and would you encourage Sam to
He might be watching it.
do it?
could be watching now.
Okay, well, if he is, Commissioner Bushman, and if he's not, Commissioner Bushman. So July 31st is the last day upon which the Board of Equalization in the various counties is entitled by statute to hear complaints of assessments that are done by the assessor. Okay. So, and on July 31st, last day for a taxpayer to have a hearing before the Board of Equalization. On July 30th, the day before that, the State Tax Commission ordered the Cole County Commission to enter into this reassessment process with the Board of Equalization. That was, again, on July 30th. On August 12th, the County Commission had on its agenda a discussion of the State Tax Commission's order, and on August 18th, the county had in its possession the final numbers from the Board of Equalization on the increases. The tax rate hearing originally scheduled before the commission for August 19th was delayed until August 26th, and the new totals were submitted to the other taxing entities, and that I learned that from a video of a meeting, a prior meeting. So August 26th, the new totals were available to the county and sent to the other taxing entities, which, as I recall, only had until maybe the end of the month to actually set the tax rates. So the numbers were available to the county on August 18th, according to, again, to a video. They weren't mailed out until the letters to the individual taxpayers weren't mailed out until August 27th, 9 days later, the day after the county set the tax rates. And I don't know, Postal Service, who knows anymore, but I hope there's nobody from the Postal Service here. I got my letter on September 2nd, the day after Labor Day. This timing is important because the letter from the Board of Equalization indicated that an appeal would be according to the provisions of the payment under protest provision of the statute. That statute requires a taxpayer, like myself, to jump through some really interesting hoops, including, most importantly probably, the filing of an action in a circuit court to recover any disputed taxes. Of course, hidden from that is the requirement that any taxpayer or any person who goes to court to file a lawsuit, unless they're declared indigent, has to pay a filing fee, service costs, to pay the sheriff's office for the cost of service. In James and my particular case, and I'm going to be really honest with you, the increased taxes on James and my property is going to be about $175 extra, the 5%. That's taken into account a little bit the lesser tax rate that I think was generated as a result of the increased valuations. $175. Frankly, Jane and I have always paid our taxes. Can you imagine what would happen if a person in my position went around not paying? Okay, we always pay our taxes. Delighted to support every taxing entity that's in there, and we'll pay our taxes on time, and probably not under, I said probably, not under protest. Frankly, the prospect of paying $350 to the Circuit Court of Cole County to argue a $175 tax increase isn't something that I would normally do. I don't think it's something any person would do. And I'm concerned that the timing of the increase as it happened with the tax commission's order, county's compliance, has just put into a situation where these taxes are not even, these assessments are not even protestable. I think it was interesting that Board of Equalization letter that was sent out by the Board of Equalization didn't mention the ability of a taxpayer to file a complaint with the State Tax Commission about the assessment. And I'll leave it to you to wonder if the State Tax Commission would even then be likely to overturn an assessment that they themselves ordered. Unlikely. But what is it to me that makes these assessments really so wrong? You know, I read in that early article that somebody commented that the east side of Cole County was underassessed historically. And again, I'm operating without any direct knowledge of I understand the townships where the increases were put into effect are on the east side, basically the east side of the county, east of Highway 54. I came by the clerk's office yesterday, asked for a copy of the county with the assessment townships, and they didn't have it. They referred me to the assessor's office, and I didn't have time to go by there to check that out. But if that's correct, east side of the county, basically, I think it's interesting that at least 5 Missouri counties have filed a lawsuit down in Polk County challenging the State Tax Commission's authority to impose these increased assessments. 4 of those counties, they were increased assessments across the entire residential classification of those counties. DeKalb County, now those 4 counties, if I'm correct, were Audrain, just north of here, Pike, Reynolds, and Polk. In one county, DeKalb County, they ordered an across-the-board assessment of commercial classification properties. Now, DeKalb County is one of those small northern counties, and I am pretty sure that the extent and nature of the commercial classification of properties in DeKalb County is probably very significant. But DeKalb County said to the State Tax Commission, no, and they joined in this lawsuit down in Polk County. And here's my problem with the assessments that were ordered in Cole County and that I think were implemented, if everybody else got the same letter I got, at least. You know, the State Tax Commission could have imposed these tax increases on their own. The statute specifically provides in section 138-380, they have the power to raise raise or lower the assessed valuation of any real or tangible personal property, including the power to raise or lower the assessed valuation, provided that before any such assessment is so raised, notice of the intention of the commission, the State Tax Commission, to raise such assessed valuation, and of the time and place of the hearing thereon will be held, shall be given to any individual, co-partnership, company, association, or corporation whose assessments are raised. Can you imagine what it would be like for the State Tax Commission to, 3 unelected, and I heard this comment was made earlier at an earlier meeting, 3 unelected officials at the state level imposing on their own a tax assessment increase on any piece of property in Cole County? One property. Imagine if they'd sent out notices to 10,000 people, which that number, I like to invent numbers out of midair, but that number is my approximate guesstimation, is that redundant? Of the number of residences in Cole County on the east side of the county who got their assessments raised. Can you imagine if the State Tax Commission sent a letter out to 10,000 residents in Cole County that their assessments are going to be raised? How many people would you be able to squeeze into Jason Gymnasium to accommodate the crowd? Would the State Tax Commission even consider ever doing that? To go into the throat of the enemy and appear and defend themselves? So no, they take the easy way out. And that, to me, that's what the State Tax Commission here has done. They've taken the easy way out. They took the easy way out by saying to the county commission, you guys do it. And only do it to the east side of how did they come to that? You may know, I don't know, but here, go ahead.
Maybe to interject at this point, the thought that it's east side only is incorrect.
Okay.
Okay, they sent, the county is divided into about 21 little townships. Some of them are square, but some of them are not square because of the rivers cut the other corners and a kind of a cockeyed straight line with Montauk. So of those 20, they go up through 21. There actually is no number 1. There is no number 4. And there may not even be a 21. So, okay, let's just say there's about 20 of them. The assessor, some time ago, told the State Tax Commission in an MOU, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and I'm going to hit 9, 10, and 14, up to 13%. That's what I'm going to do for 25. And then I'm going to go to the rest of the county and raise them where they should be raised. And he didn't put a hard number with that. So therefore, the county, he told the State Tax Commission, I'm going to do the whole county, but I'm going to hit 9, 10, and 14 harder because I didn't touch them in 23, except in some isolated cases, which I was one of, but that's another story. Saying east side got to hammered and west didn't, that's not accurate.
Okay,
But you wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. And
what you do need to see, and you should have, and we'd be happy to deliver it to you, is the order. And it says, BOE, you shall raise these townships. It goes 2, 3, there is no 4, 5, 6, 7 he left out, 8.
And that's actually in the Board of Equalization's letter, those numbered districts that got approved.
11, 12, 13, jumped over 14, 15, 16, 17, didn't hit 18, 19, and 20. Now, they left out 7 and they left out 18. And I called and asked them why. And they said, well, we've already dug into 7, which is generally Centertown.
Okay.
We didn't do them because they've already somehow they're up in the 8% increase already. And they didn't do 18, which to me is Railwood, the southwest corner, just that little. Those are the 2, don't send this to, and of course, don't send this 5% increase to 9, 10, and 14, because the assessor did go and basically hammered those folks at almost at 13%. So Now, back in '23, you probably got the letter in '23 as well, because he did go to those other ones that he left out this time, and he hit them for about 4.5% to 5%. So I think what they were thinking is the 13 that these 9, 10, and 14 are getting hit at 13, the rest of the county got hit at about 5%, 4.5%, 5% some years ago, and another 5 kind of equalizes that.
Well, that's important for me to know. Again, my lack of enough knowledge, I guess, about the taxation districts, the assessment districts, kept me from knowing that. I thought this was an east side, west side.
No, it was not each side.
So everybody got these letters except in those townships.
The 5% letter went to everybody except 1, 7, 18, 9, 10, and 14.
Okay, well, that takes care of a lot of my discrimination concerns, but not all of them.
Well, you know, the timing is very, as you've laid out these dates, and what can a homeowner do? Well, they can throw good money after bad is what they can
Yeah,
do.
that's right.
And you're right about them telling the state, telling the BOE, you're going to have to be the bad cop. So that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah, well,
And I've heard, you know, the comment about these 3 unelected officials, right? Well, they were appointed by the governor. They were confirmed by the Senate. And you know what? I didn't hear that argument when that same state tax commission told Jackson County assessor, you can't go above 15. You cannot. Do not go above 15% increase.
Because of the law that requires them to do personal inspections.
Well, that's part of it, but you can't do it. And nobody said, well, if you're unelected, they can't make us stay under 15. But you're right. You're supposed to do a visible inspection. You know, the statute also says the assessor's got to lay his eyes on the property once every 4 years. Just do a drive-by. But our guy didn't do that. So I appreciate the deliberativeness of your presentation and didn't come in with your hair on fire. And
There's not
many things of what you said
You
were
haven't
spot
noticed.
on.
You haven't noticed.
Well, maybe it was on fire one time.
You know, I guarantee you might not have seen it if it was on fire.
Okay.
Well, you know, and that's good to know, but I still really believe that the bully on the mountaintop here is the State Tax Commission.
Yes.
They ordered all of these, I think probably counties across the state. I'd like to know, I mean, it would be interesting to find out how many counties told them to.
I think it's in the low teens. It might have got up to 15.
Didn't
Perhaps, but some of them got 2 orders, one on commercial and one on residential. Taney got hammered for both. And maybe Platt, I think, was told to raise.
You know, I was going to come in here today and give you a 5-point plan. And here was a 5-point plan. Reconvene the Board of Equalization. Reconsider the State Tax Commission's discriminatory order. Reject the State Tax Commission's attempt to join the other 5 counties in the Polk County lawsuit and let the assessor do his job. You know, I've limited that. I still think I still don't like the fact that the residential taxpayers of Cole County are bearing the entire burden of this 5% increase. Historically, I believe there's just as much neglect at reassessment, if not more neglect at the commercial level than there is at the residential level. As a result of the residential reassessment, commercial properties now are going to receive a little bit of a tax break because of the lower levy. And it just pains me to see this piecemeal approach. Now, I'm glad, frankly, that I'm not glad. I'm glad it wasn't so piecemeal that they divided the county into 2 different areas geographically. I still think that the impact of the reassessment and it should bring to our new assessors attention the need to do a reassessment on the commercial properties too. You know, in James, in my particular case, we had a 5% increase in 1923, and a 5.18% increase in 23, another 5% now, 10% in the last 2 years. And I'm going to be honest with you, almost everybody I've talked about, and I agree, our house is still underassessed. That's not my complaint. My complaint is the State Tax Commission's involvement in this, which to me is an overreach on their part. I mean, when I was on the State Tax Commission, we had the obligation to encourage counties to increase assessment levels. We did. We actually we had 4 tools. I always said at the time. We had enforcement, we had education, evaluation through ratio studies, and there was another 4th one that started with an E, believe it or not. The one tool we didn't have was extortion. That's another E word. And I think the State Tax Commission overreached here by telling the county we're going to hold X number of dollars, whatever that number of dollars is, unless you increase across the board residential assessments in Cole County by 5%. I don't think that they certainly had the authority to do that. And my 2-point plan for the county commission instead of that 5-point plan is very simple. Stand up to the bullies wherever they are, including at the state level, and then let the assessor do his job. I don't think there's very few taxpayers object to assessments that are done at the local level. When they're done across the board at a state dictated level, that irks me.
Pretty sure you know where I stood with it. If you watched the meetings, I agreed with pretty much everything you said.
Yeah, you know,
I agreed. I was willing to reject their order. Let's sit on it for a year. Let's let our new assessor come in, and let's try to handle it ourselves, handle it locally. I don't think anybody in this room can come in here and say that you're properly assessed at market value on your house. And I know mine's gone up, I think 13% last year or 2 years ago. And even with this 5%, it's not really going to be close. And my problem with that is the State Tax Commission has sat there and told our assessor, he's brought his notes that said he is one of the best in the state for how long? And now all of a sudden, we're 30% more than that probably under market value, probably double in a lot of places.
Well, and I think Harry mentioned this at an earlier meeting. Statewide reassessment is likely, I think in the next 3 or 4 years, either the legislature or the courts are going to order a new round of statewide reassessments, because the number of counties that are below that 60% level of assessment to real value ratio I think there's 80 counties that are below.
This is a redo of the middle to late 70s, early 80s, where the Supreme Court said that's enough.
It is.
You assessors are so bad that statewide, not just just to maybe, I'm not sure exactly how you phrased it there, but we had an assessor who claimed to be one of the best, and he claimed that the State Tax Commission was one of the best. Both of those claims are false. They are false as they can be, but he was able to run on that for many years because his entire definition of best was based upon a sales ratio study, which does not do a good job. And you know about sales ratio studies and how they can be manipulated. And a perfect score on a sales ratio study was 100. his belief, the perfect score was 90, which is barely passing, but as low as it can be. And if you didn't have good sales numbers to turn in, anyway.
Well, I do appreciate you all, and I'm sorry to everybody else who had to.
Well, listen, I had
Less than 40 minutes.
You did well. You're excellent. And I'll let you know that I had a text message from someone at the State Tax Commission this morning asking, how do we watch the meeting? So I told them.
Okay, good.
So you can wave to your friends.
Because they know I'm coming for them. I'm kidding.
They do now.
I do want to mention this. There's a weird thing in the law called exhaustion of administrative remedies. You have to exhaust your administrative remedies before you can file a lawsuit in certain cases. I'm not saying that Jay and I are going to file a lawsuit against the State Tax Commission. However, I am going to file a complaint with the State Tax Commission, because that's what's required by law, by today, of the Board of Equalization of the Board of Equalization assessment that we got. I'm doing that for one purpose and one purpose only. Not with any hope that the State Tax Commission, I had in my notes here, I hope they're better in their review responsibility than they are in their administrative responsibility about fairness. I don't have any hope the State Tax Commission is going to approve that complaint. But I also want to preserve my ability to file a lawsuit against the State Tax Commission if I decide to do that. And I've got to file that appeal, that complaint with the State Tax Commission today. So I'll be doing that this afternoon. It's nothing personal. It's preserving my rights to do something that I may at some point in time decide that I want to do, if I can bring Jane along with me.
Well, I'm pleased that someone of your stature and demeanor is going in that direction instead of a fireball, of a reactionary.
You haven't ever seen me with my hair on fire.
Well,
Thank
our
you.
new assessor has got a chore ahead of him.
He does, yeah.
He's taking it head on. I mean, we're having conversations how to do this fairly and maybe even trying to get some better sales comparisons, because right now we do not get those sales comparisons to make a proper assessment without doing an actual appraisal on them. And to do that many appraisals
Yeah, hold on.
take forever, so.
I do have a question for you if you care to answer it.
Okay.
Do you think Missouri should be a reporting state where sales by the seller or the buyer should be reported or reportable so that assessors can get good numbers?
Jane's laughing.
Oh, you're out of time, sorry. Trying to help you out here.
You know, I have noticed it. You know, I get on that Minmo GIS thing to check out some of these numbers as far as assessments for me and other people, just to see. And I did notice that when properties change hand is when typically assessments get changed, residential properties at least. I don't know where they're getting those numbers from. They can't get them from anybody other than the buyer and seller, as I recall. Should Missouri be a reporting state? I think I resisted that when I was in the legislature representing 35,000 Missourians in my legislative district, because I didn't think they wanted all that information in the hands of the government. Frankly, so much of this now is available online through Zillow and in other ways. So I don't know that I support requiring reporting. You know, I know that Jeff mentioned the other day about how the disparity when closing costs are included in a sale price versus not included in a sale price, and that throws the numbers off. So I'm not sure that there aren't other methods available for assessors to get that kind of information. And I'm not talking about hook or crook. I'm just talking about through normally available online resources. That's a dickens of a job. I can't even imagine what Tim is getting into. If he was still here, he's not, is he?
He's working.
I was
No,
going
he was here when I was saying those nice things about it.
I was gonna tell him. I already told him good luck when Harry asked this. But good luck. It's a tough job. It really is.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That was item 5 on our agenda. 6 is commission comments. Nothing there. We now have a proclamation on the National 4-H Week. And
That's why once you do the presiding, you have to read it.
do I have it?
Well, yeah, somewhere Melody's got it, I'm sure.
Oh, sorry.
I apologize, I didn't think about that before we came in. Do you have the proclamation?
Might be on my desk. It's on my desk. I'll be mine.
Should we stand up and stretch?
Harry hit it from himself. This is gonna make, Sam's gonna enjoy this one. See what happens when he's not here. So, I'm gonna sit back down. Y'all come up, we've got some
Let's have.
distinguished guests. Good to see you this morning.
This way. All right. This is a proclamation by the Cole County Commission. Whereas the Cole County Commissioners are proud to honor 4-H Youth Development Program of the Cole County/Extension Service for providing experience-based education to adolescents throughout the Cole County and helping them to make new friends and memories while preparing them to be our future leaders. And whereas 4-H is America's largest youth development organization, supporting 6 million youth across the country, and whereas 4-H programs are delivered by the Cooperative Extension System, a community of more than 100 public land-grant colleges and universities across the nation that provides experiences for young people to learn by doing, and whereas 4-H is in every city and county in the United States and helps 6 million youth become engaged, successful, and independent. And whereas 4-H connects young people and adults to their communities, preparing them for work and life through experiential and, is that word? Experiential?
I was just wondering.
And inquiry-based learning and providing emerging research for positive youth development. And I got 2 more whereases. Whereas expanding from its strong agricultural roots, 4-H helps young people explore the world around them and grow into productive adults. And whereas supporting future leaders in science, agriculture, and community leadership is an important imperative for U.S. Department of Agricultural National Institute of Food and Agriculture 4-H program. And now, therefore, the Cole County Commission hereby proclaims October 5th through the 11th, 2025 as National 4-H Week. Congratulations. Thank you, 4-H leaders.
Thank you all. Yeah, that's all we work with that. Keeps them out of our jails, right?
Thank you, 4-H.
Thank you.
Okay, we move to 8, bids and contracts. Approval and signing of the WIC contract amendment for MODHSS.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is an amendment for the contract that actually ends today. They're cleaning up remaining amounts. We didn't spend everything that they gave us for the conference. We were cheaper than what they estimated, so they want to take that $424.12 back.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve and sign the WIC contract amendment from MODHSS.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried.
Terry, could I make a request that you do my other contract, because I have a meeting at 10 o'clock?
I'm sorry.
Can I make a request that you also do the Safe Crib contract right now so I can leave for my 10 o'clock meeting? I would appreciate it.
Should we want to be that nice?
Oh, it's a birthday, or it was yesterday
It
or
was
something?
yesterday. This is my birthday gift. Yeah, let me get out of
Since we
here.
didn't go yesterday off, I guess we.
I did actually take yesterday off.
That was on your own.
That was on my own time, thank you.
So, you want to take that one?
Yeah, you have it.
I
You
do.
got it.
We got it printed.
It's just the
Oh, okay.
Safe Crib.
same thing we do every year, right? So
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve and sign the MODHSS Safe Cribs for Missouri Programs
Yes.
contract.
Thank you.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion
Thank you very
carried.
much.
You're welcome. Don, you had to share your special day with Christy too, because we weren't here yesterday, so.
Your birthday's
Yeah.
today? Well, happy birthday.
Yeah.
It was like Brian had.
She came to work, Christy.
That's okay.
Because of that salary study.
Oh, yeah. Blame Sheila. Thank you.
Christy, did the possible Fed shutdown have anything that's going to affect you all at all? Harry was
No, we
talking
got
about
an
that a while
email.
ago.
Yeah, we got an email saying that WIC would not be interrupted, so that's the biggest thing.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
I will
interrupted so
call
they can
upon
pay later.
Sheriff Wheeler at this point.
That's where I was at.
So we have two contracts. One with Zimmer for our social media for our open positions. We currently are 10 down, one civilian position, part-time, 3 full-time deputies, 5 full-time jailers, and 1 part-time jailer. This is for $7,500. We want to do 3 months. This is whenever they actually take care of our social media, Facebook posts, Instagram, and so forth.
And we were talking about this earlier. We were 27 down at
2
one
years
point,
ago.
kind of before we started this campaign. So this has helped, and we've gotten some good candidates too. We're not
Yes.
having to accept inferior employees, so
That's
it's a
correct.
good thing. So good. Okay, make a motion to sign the Sheriff's Department contract with Zimmer Communications.
Second. All in favor? Say
Aye.
aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried.
The second thing I have is, it's another contract for ABC 17 Recruitment Advantage. It's for 3 months for $5,100. The main thing that this does, it's a job case partnership. It placements for 100 premium job sites. So we'd like to try this for 3 months too. We've never done ABC 17 before, so.
Okay, you good with that? Okay. Make a motion to sign the Sheriff's Department contract with ABC 17 Recruitment Advantage.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under new business, accounts payable review.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd ask for approval of accounts payable pending review.
I'll make a motion to approve accounts payable upon review.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Now, let's talk about the emergency procurement rail spur repairs.
So I do not have any numbers yet. I'm waiting on that from Capital Railroad Contracting. They did complete the job. Anytime you get into, like we talked earlier with Union Pacific, they'll come in and do an inspection and if there's an issue, they'll shut you down, and they did, and we had to get on it right away. Capital Railroad Contracting, we've done work with them in the past. They've been very responsive, so came in within 2 days, got there, started. They had to come back again because there was some issues getting Union Pacific's flaggers there on time because they had to work too close to the main line rail, so they came back the following couple days later and finished everything. So it's up and operational, everything's good. I'm waiting on some final numbers from Capital Railroad Contracting to have you all approve the quote or proposal when it's all said and done. One thing I do want to do going forward is to have set up an on-call contract or a repair contract, maintenance contract, a little bit rolled into one, to where we can, be able to take care of these without having to go through emergency provisions in the future. So, and I'm working with Capital as the operator of the transload for inspections and everything. So that will be coming. I don't know for sure when, but we will get something to you.
When was the last time we had to use them? How long has that been? It's been a little while back.
It was for the same reason and in the same location, right coming off of the switch off of the main line. Different reason, but the same location. And I would say roughly 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. We don't use it very often, but it would be nice to have this in place so you can just get it done instead of having to email, get an okay for emergency, and then we gotta come back and vote on it later on.
And with the transload, our amount of deliveries coming in is like many times over what it was before. So expect more need to be inspecting things, more maintenance items, more issues like that.
Hopefully though, with this transload, then this will help pay for some of this stuff here.
The end goal, yes.
So this, doesn't land on the taxpayer's shoulders like it all used to. When we owned it.
Right.
And ran it.
Quote unquote, yeah. So anyway, that's the update I have. As soon as I get, and I don't think we need to put it on the agenda until I actually get the document to present to you, and that hopefully will be soon. I have a call into them. I just haven't gotten a response yet. So, but it'll come.
Well, we've basically already authorized the procurement of them.
Correct.
But then once you get the numbers, then we can ratify that.
Correct.
So I'd just say whenever you get it, let us know. We'll put it on the agenda again.
Okay.
And the fix was critical. It had to be done.
Union Pacific came in, not only did they put a lock on the derail, they also basically nailed a piece of track down so it wouldn't physically move. So there was no way a car was going down there.
So you couldn't get back in there and turn your water back on, is what you're saying?
More or less, yes. So it was imminent. We had to do it ASAP. And again, I'm very thankful Capital Railroad Contracting was available, and they've always helped us out when we needed help, and they're good. Somewhat local. They're out of Columbia, but they're more or less local. And while we're on that subject, CART is doing another little open house, coffee with CART. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. out at the transload. So, and Capital has hired somebody that is focusing on business development of the facility and has experience dealing with the different rail providers and operations of transloads and everything. So things are moving in the right direction. It's very challenging, as I've learned, to pull everything together to operate a facility like that. But that's expect continual growth and build out of that old facility.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Under unfinished business, Safe Haven Baby Box Project update.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Talk to each of you briefly on this, but I just kind of want to bring it on the record as we move forward. So kind of go back and just give an overview. Well over a year now, we've been talking about the project of installing Safe Haven Baby Box in our facility down the road at Adams Street. This was out of the result of a community request, and through work with all of our public safety agencies, we determined that our facility is probably the best location for it. There was a fundraising process that raised about $28,000 roughly. And we thought that that goal was well beyond what we would need in terms of fundraising. And that was based off kind of some meetings with Safe Haven Baby Box and their estimated costs of previous projects. So the device itself is $15,620, and so we felt that we had significant funds to install the box. Typically, they've reported that their installation costs were about $6,000 to $7,000. Once we met that fundraising goal, we had Architects Alliance start looking at the building and seeing where the box could go. We identified 2 spots, the primary one being kind of right outside the front door. And as we moved through the process, we learned that the state had to come in and kind of inspect and approve where these boxes go in the building, and they ultimately have oversight over the program. And when they took a look at that first location, since it was up a flight of stairs, they said this is not, in our opinion, a satisfactory location. So we kind of had to go back to the drawing board, and we identified one other spot in the building, and that is unfortunately the base of a 3-story load-bearing wall. And is really the only identifiable location that this device can go. So Architects Alliance went back to the drawing board and produced a proposal, which then went to our contractors at GBH, and their bid is, or their estimate is $17,171.29. So if I'm mathing correctly, that leaves us with just about $4,900 in a funding gap. So we've been working on that pretty extensively to try and figure out how to close that funding gap. I've been pretty transparent in the media saying that we didn't want to go back to the community unless, we were sure that additional funds were needed. But in the meantime, the legislature in the last session passed House Bill 121, which did identify $10,000 for reimbursement to any agency that installs one of these boxes. And those funds became available August 28th. So in trying to track that down through the state, ultimately that ended up with the Department of Health and Senior Services, and they are currently writing rules to get that program off the ground. However, we do have it in writing that any projects after August 28th would be available for that reimbursement. And I think the key word there is reimbursement. So no matter how we go about this, we are going to have to expend some funds to get that reimbursement back. And I'm fairly confident that we have multiple sources of how to, obtain that reimbursement. So our risk is very negligible at this point. I know it's always been our focus not to expend, EMS funds on this, but I think at this point, in order to accomplish the project, and based on the feelings of the community, we want to get this done. So I do not have any reservations about spending $4,900 because I'm very confident that we will be reimbursed that money at some point in the future. So I believe we've talked amongst ourselves, and everybody is on board with that. However, I just wanted to see if there were any further discussions, and I did not get a contract from GBH to put on the agenda this week, so that'll be on my list for next week unless anybody has any other comments.
So we've talked about this offline before. There's nothing new since we talked, right? This is as we left it before.
Yep. Kind of on my timeline, I told some people that there would be a public update on this date. Unfortunately, I just didn't get the GBH proposal in time to get it on the agenda. So I did want to put it under old business just to get this update out there and let everybody know that it is our intent, I believe, to move forward.
And after all the dust settles on this, the county will be out $0.
Correct.
Okay.
The Safe Haven people are doing the contribution for that $17,000, right? We don't need to bid this out or anything. that's all coming.
Yes, correct, yes.
Yeah, we talked about or argued or whatever, because I was a little, it sounds just sketchy to me, waiting for them to make the rules, and yeah, they promised to reimburse us, but I think we're far enough down the rabbit hole. I think it's something that, you hear stories about, and
I think there.
talk me into, we need to go ahead and just proceed.
Yeah, and I've been approached, and I won't get into details, but there are other mechanisms for reimbursement if the state money does not come through. So I'm very confident that we will not be out any funds at the end of this. So I will have a proposal from GBH next week. So appreciate it. If anybody has anything else.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any other business to come before the commission? So our next meeting is next Tuesday at 9 a.m. as usual. I would entertain a motion to stand in recess.
I'll make a motion to stand in recess until 4:30.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. No noes.